This is a presentation on Malay Archipelago. My name is Maribel Garcia Guzman, and I will be speaking on the following topics: the approximate whereabouts of the region, the nations and major capitals of the region, major landform places, rivers and lakes, and climate properties of the region.
Hi, my name is Teresa Lopez Piña, and I'll be talking about major resource bases, the approximate population size of the region, and the most populated nations of the region and corresponding population size, and major cities.
My name is Angelina Arevalo, and I will be talking about major civilizations and histories in the region, major languages and religions, and cultures, social customs, folklore, music, and dances in the regions.
Hi, my name is Rafael, and I will talk about political structures, organizations, and issues, economic organization, level of development, and economic development issues, social form, and social issues.
Approximate whereabouts of Malay Archipelago. Malay Archipelago is composed of a large group of islands and is located in Southeast Asia. There is over 25,000 islands in Malay Archipelago. Malay Archipelago is located on the East Hemispheres and both the North and South Hemispheres. The islands are located between the Pacific and Indian Oceans. The South China Sea separates the mainland from the Malay Archipelago. Between the islands are the Sulu, Celebes, Molucca, Banda, Flores, and Java Seas. Now we are going to go over the nations and major capitals in Malay Archipelago. We're going to start off with Indonesia, whose capital is Jakarta. The next nation is the Philippines, and its capital is Manila. The following nation is Malaysia, and its capital is Kuala Lumpur. Another major nation in Malay Archipelago is Brunei, and its capital is Bandar Seri Begawan. The final major nation we will be discussing is East Timor, and its capital is Dili. Major landform places, rivers and lakes, and climate properties of the region. The climate of Malay Archipelago is mainly Type A. The Type A climate is because the Malay Archipelago is located along the equator. There is an average annual rainfall of 80 inches of rain. However, some places get over 300 inches of rain. Indonesia is located along the Ring of Fire and has a total of 147 volcanoes. 76 of those volcanoes are active, which is more than any other country. Mount Merapi on the island of Java in Indonesia is one of the most active volcanoes in the region. It erupted in March of 2020 and again in June of 2020. An eruption in 2010 resulted in the death of 300 people. The Philippines is a very mountainous country. The Sierra Madre is the largest mountain range in the Philippines, and it is important to the biodiversity in the country.
Population size of region. The population of people is over 380 million people in the region. This includes the islands around it like Sumatra, Java, Borneo, and Sulawesi. Resource bases. A resource most used in Malay Archipelago is petroleum. Petroleum is used for heating and electricity generation, asphalt and road oil, and feedstocking for making the chemicals, plastics, and synthetic materials that are nearly everything we use. Coal has many important uses worldwide. The most significant uses are in electricity generation, steel production, cement manufacturing, and other industrial processes, and as a liquid fuel. Natural gas is a non-renewable hydrocarbon used as a source of energy for heating, cooking, and electricity generation. It is also used as a fuel for vehicles and as a chemical feedstock in the manufacture of plastics and other commercially important organic chemicals. Timber is a valued natural resource that serves directly as a material for use in construction, paper manufacturing, specialty wood products such as furniture, and as a fuel source. Copper. Copper is used in electrical equipment such as wiring and motors. This is because it conducts both heat and electricity very well and can be drawn into wires. Fertile soil has the following properties: the ability to supply essential plant nutrients and water in adequate amounts and proportions for plant growth and reproduction. Silver is used to make mirrors, as it is the best reflector of visible light known. Although it does tarnish with time, it is also used in dental alloys. Gold has been used in jewelry for centuries because of its attractive luster, color, malleability, and resistance to tarnish. They are rich in resources with proven and potential conventional energy reserves. Major cities. Jakarta plays several roles. It can be identified first as the national capital and a central place of control of the national economy, then as the administrative center in its own right, and it is a significant industrial hub. Dili. Dili is the chief port and commercial center for East Timor. It also has an airport. Baram Island's important role in commercial production with Malaysia and Singapore has given it a fascinating fusion of cultures. Most populated nations. Indonesia has 267.7 million. Philippines has 106.7 million. Malaysia has 31.5 million. East Timor has 1.2 million. Brunei has 428,962. Largest cities in terms of population: Jakarta, Indonesia, 8.5 million. Quezon, Philippines, 2.9 million. Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, 7.2 million.
Major civilizations: Indonesia. The Sriwijaya Empire was based in Sumatra, Indonesia, and they contributed to the expansion of Buddhism. They were the first kingdom to dominate most of the Indonesian archipelago. The empire ceased to exist in the 13th century. Major civilizations: the Philippines. Negrito groups were the first to set in prehistoric Philippines. After them, groups of Austronesians migrated to the islands. Europeans arrived in the islands, and that led to Spanish colonization, which led to people of the Philippines being introduced to Christianity, specific Roman Catholicism. Histories in the region. Indonesia. The country is known for its geographic position, natural resources, and all the people that migrate through it. Indonesia goes back 1.5 to 1.8 million years. There may have been another human species spotted in this country. Portuguese tried to take over Indonesia, but they were not successful. Histories and regions. The Philippines. They were the first humans to use boats and rafts. They were claimed by Spain in 1521. Spain's government developed Filipino agriculture. The Philippines was subjected to Westernization way of living before they even got to have their own colonization. They were unlike other countries in Southeast Asia because they never adopted Hinduism or Buddhism. Languages that are spoken within the Malay Archipelago are known as Austronesian languages, and there are over 1,200 different languages. Malay is the major language that is spoken in Indonesia, Singapore, Brunei, and Malaysia. There are different dialects for this language. The northern dialect is spoken in Singapore, Malaysia, and Brunei. The southern dialect is usually spoken in Indonesia. The languages, Malay and Indonesian, are very similar. Indonesian is considered a dialect of Malay because there are not many differences besides vocabulary and accents. Thai is another major language in Southeast Asia. It is spoken by roughly 60 million people. Religions. There are several religions that are practiced in Southeast Asia. The main religions are Buddhism, Islam, and Christianity. Buddhism is practiced more north in the Malay Archipelago. Islam is mainly in the southern part of the Malay Archipelago. That means there is a high population of Muslims in Indonesia. The religion Islam is practiced in about 2/5 of Southeast Asia. Christianity, Roman Catholicism, was introduced when there was European contact in Southeast Asia. It is important in the Philippines and southern Vietnam. Cultures. A distinctive feature that Southeast Asia has is that it is very diversely cultured. More than half of the population in Southeast Asia lives on the many islands of Indonesia and the Philippines. The many different ethnicities allow for Southeast Asia to have differences that evolved into specific cultural groups. Social customs in Indonesia. Body language is something that is taught at an early age. They do not shout. Public displays of affection are frowned upon. Their left hand is seen as unclean. Prolonged eye contact is disobedient. When being introduced, you need to make sure to introduce to the eldest first. Folklore music dance in Indonesia. Indonesian folklore is seen as their knowledge in traditional art and literature, and the stories are told and passed down through generations. The stories are derived from the lives of Indonesians, and they can be true, but the point is to teach a lesson. Indonesia's music shows their cultural diversity. Traditional regional music and songs are natively composed from strong beats and harmony. This type of strong influence of Indian and Malay classic music. A popular instrument that they use is a gamelan xylophone. Since there are so many different ethnic groups, there are many styles of dance. They have different dances that tell a story and explain the complexity of their culture.
Political structures, organizations, and issues. In the 19th century, the European colonial powers strengthened the ethnic groups in the borderlands to subvert central federal rulers. Therefore, the ethno-linguistic groups feel no sense of loyalty to their central governments. These are the borderlands. Malaysia is a federal constitution, elected monarchy, the only federal country in Southeast Asia. The federal territories is in Malaysia, comprise 3 territories: Kuala Lumpur, Putrajaya, and Labuan, governed directly by the federal government of Malaysia. Homosexuality is illegal in Malaysia, and the authorities can impose punishment such as caning. Economic organization, level of development, economic development issues. The island's economy is overwhelmingly rural and agricultural, such as rice, corn, yams, or cassava, sugar, copra, pepper, nutmeg, etc. The most important industries are handicraft production and the primary processing of agricultural and mineral products for export. Most of the economic issues are cost of living, the salary minimum is $270 to $295. The unemployment rate in Indonesia is 4.69%, Philippines with a 8.31%, and Malaysia with 3.34%, and economic imbalance. Social form and social issues. For this topic, we will focus only in Indonesia. If you go to Indonesia, you should know that Indonesians are known to be friendly and warm, awareness of customs and traditions. For greetings, the Indonesians bow slightly as well, and then put their palm on their chest after shaking hands as a sign of politeness. Things to be aware in Indonesia. When standing at rest, be aware of where you place your arms. Putting your hands on your hips or crossing your arms may be interpreted as anger or hostility. Avoid touching someone's head, as it is considered sacred by some Indonesians. Prolonging eye contact could be misunderstood as being a challenge or a form of aggression. Using the left hand for giving or receiving or when gesturing towards someone is seen as inappropriate. Issues that Indonesia is confronting right now: political instability, unrest and armed conflict, human rights violations, corruption, nepotism, collusion, scandal, and poverty.